Hi, and welcome to final exam week. This is going to be a short video because this is a rather short week. The first thing that I know everybody's really interested in is the final exam. It has been posted on Moodle under week 8. It consists of 3 questions, which you are asked to provide a 2-page essay answer to each of those questions. If you like to think about things in terms of word count, each of your essay answers needs to be between 800 to 1,000 words each. There is a grading rubric that can be found by clicking on the assignment submission link. I would suggest that it would be a good idea to look at the rubric before you take the exam, and then also look at it after you have completed your 3 essay questions, and to make sure that you have met all of the expectations and before you then submit it, because once you've submitted the final exam, that's it. The final exam is due on Monday, February 29th at 11:55. So that's tomorrow. And you submit it by submitting it through the assignment submission link that's posted under week 8 there as well on Moodle. Estimated amount of time is that it's going to take about 11 hours. So please plan accordingly. I know many of you have already told me that you shuffled your schedules around in order to have childcare during these couple of days, or took some time off of work, and I appreciate that. And if you didn't, just plan that you need blocks of open time to work on this that equal 11 hours. Don't shortchange yourself. So that's pretty much the final exam. After you've looked at it, if you have any questions about the final exam questions, I will do my best to answer questions for you. Course grades will be posted by Tuesday, March 8th at 12 noon. That's when we instructors are required to have our grades submitted to the registrar by. And I'm expecting that it's going to probably take me pretty close to that date to get the final course grades in, just because this is an online course and I still have a lot to grade. It's very text intensive, and I will do my best to get things posted before March 8th, and I will, as soon as they're ready, I will post them, but just know that it'll be close to that date. The Adult Learner's Guide for the second session of the Unified Seminar, VUSM 472, will be posted on Moodle by Monday, March 7th. The Adult Learner's Guide will look very similar to what you had for this session, just different assignments and different content. So be looking for that close to that date. The class itself, VUSM 472, begins Monday, March 14th. So the Adult Learner's Guide will be available about a week before class starts, so you can take a look over it. Send me any questions you might have, feel free to start working ahead. I know several people made a practice of doing that, and it seemed to work really well for them, at least, as far as getting things in on time. And also I noticed that the people who tended to get their assignments in, like seemed to be working ahead, the quality of their assignments was higher quality as well. Let's see, what else? We've got spring break, though, after the final exam is done and before our next session starts up. Some ideas of what to do during spring break. first of all, catch your breath. I know that this sort of a format for a class can be exhausting and stressful on top of your normal work and family life. And so, yeah, give yourself some rest and respite to recharge so that you're ready to give all your energy to the second session. You might want to review the readings that were assigned during week 7 in VUSM 471. Those readings were in Kite and Ethical Life, the preface and chapter 1, and then in Loeb, Soul of a Citizen, chapter 9, which is called Widening the Circle. Those will again be the topics, the books of focus for the first week in VUSM 472, and so, like I said, if you're a work ahead sort of person, or even it just might be a good idea to review stuff. Don't rely on your memory from having read it a week ago and then having a big exam in the middle and then spring break in the middle and expect that you're going to remember all of these new terms that you may have encountered in Kite's Introduction to Ethics, for instance. And then another thing you might consider doing during spring break is completing some service. It's a great way to spend some time. I find it a great way to recharge myself. And I did want to do a clarification because I've gotten a couple of questions actually throughout this first session about the service hours, and I want to make sure everyone's on the same page. The requirement for service hours is that you complete at least 8 instances of service, and that each instance lasts a minimum of 1 hour each. So at the very minimum, so if you did 8 different times of service and each one of those times was the minimum 1 hour, 8 hours is the minimum. But it has to be spread over those 8 instances. So some people have caught on to the 8-hour thing and, were wondering if they could go to a day-long service activity that lasted 8 hours straight. And if they could take care of their service hours in that one fell swoop. No, that doesn't work because that's one instance of service. Yes, it's an 8-hour duration of service, but we're looking for you to participate in 8 different times that you're going somewhere, connecting with your community partner, and to provide for some consistency with your service experience. And the reason why each instance is a minimum of 1 hour is so that you don't just show up somewhere for 15 minutes and then say, I completed an instance of service, because that happens sometimes, that you show up somewhere and they're like, oh, well, we really don't have a whole lot today. I guess, you could go over there and break down boxes and then go home, and it takes you 10 minutes to break down the boxes. So that wouldn't count as an instance of service. Now, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't do those things. These are all minimums, and I hope that you are learning how important your contribution is. And so, whether it's that one of your instances of service is a long duration, an all-day experience, well, that's awesome. But you still have to do more beyond that. Or if you show up and they only have 10 minutes of work, well, you don't say, I'm going to go home. No, you stay and you help out for those 10 minutes, get that task done, and just know that, you're going to have to come back another time to do a full instance of service. And then some people in that service learning at Viterbo document, it refers to 25 hours of service, and some people latched onto that and they're like, and understood that they think they have to do 25 hours of students. Once again, I want to clarify that is not correct. That 25 hours that's referred to in that document is what is expected of traditional Viterbo students who are in the full semester long Serving the Common Good VUSM 300. That because this is online, because this is Cal, because this is an accelerated duration course, that is not the expectation for the class. It's 8 instances. Each instance has to be at least 1 hour long. If you have any other questions about what the requirements are for the service hours, please feel free to contact me to clarify. I'm happy to help you figure out if you have enough service hours, service time in yet, or what you need to do in order to meet the requirements. So that's it. Like I said, this is a short video. Good luck on the final exam. Enjoy spring break, and I look forward to working with you guys again in another couple of weeks. Thanks.